G'day guys, welcome. I've just stored on the player report cards. I just want to touch base on the Liam Stocker delisting. When I was I was in the process of writing up a Liam Stocker report card for this year, and talking about what he could offer the football club moving forward. But it's pointless even doing that now. But I wanted to jump on and suppose just look at the situation and what it means and try and make a little bit of sense of it. Because I think we all love Liam Stocker. I mean, we all love Liam Stocker, and if you followed this channel, which most of you had for a period of time now, that he was definitely one of my favourites, if not my favourite, for a long period of time now. So it does sting. It does sting, and I don't know. I can't remember a delisting which has caused so much outrage and disappointment across the Carlton fan base. I can't ever remember. There was the Eddie Betts situation when he left for the Adelaide Crows, but that was different. He wasn't delisted. He was just, I suppose, he was forced out really because, Carlton wouldn't, come to the party and, and help him out. So he left for Adelaide. But this one is such a shock. And the more I think about it, he's only played 28 games across 4 seasons. And, is it such a shock when you sort of break it down like that? I mean, there would have been plenty of other players who played 28 games across 4 seasons and been cut or delisted from their football club. Plenty. This one has caused an incredible amount of outrage, as I mentioned, but also a really emotive and emotional response. I'm not necessarily outraged. I'm genuinely disappointed. Am I shocked at the delisting? Yes, I really am. It came suddenly. It came really quick and really suddenly. Just played an outstanding game in the VFL on the weekend. He played really well the week before in the final against Collingwood, elimination final in the VFL. He was in terrific form and showing a tremendous amount of passion for the jumper. And just bang, it came out of the blue last night. So I think the shock of the delisting is the thing that's got me. Not so much the shock of Liam not being at the club next year. I think it was probably on the cards, being out of contract, that Stocker, he's a midfielder. He wants to play midfield. He might want to have explored his options anyway, and that wouldn't have been a shock at all. In fact, he may have said to the club, look, I want to explore my options, blah, blah, blah. And if that's what the club had sort of told us, that Liam Stocker has requested a trade, then I don't think we would have been shocked at that. We would have been disappointed, but it's the delisting. The fact that we don't want him. We don't think he's worthy enough to be at the football club. It's a tough one. It's a bloody tough caper. It really is. And then today, we hear of the 2-year contracts to Lockie O'Brien and Jordan Boyd, which don't get me wrong. I think, both players obviously deserve their contracts, but it only comes like 12 hours after that. It's a strange one. I think there's 3 things at play here and why it's caused such an uproar. And I've got no doubt that Liam Stocker will be at another club, AFL club, in 2023. I've got no doubt. I do have doubts about his longevity in the game. But I've got no doubt that he'll find his way to another club. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you give this kid a chance? But I think there's three things at play here with Liam Stocker and why it's caused such an uproar. I think the three things are the person, one, the player, two, and now I'm going to call it the sauce effect, three. I think the player and the person go hand in hand. But I'll talk about the player first. I don't think we've had a player at our football club for a long time, long time, who's shown his genuine toughness, the fly the flag aggression, such as Liam Stocker. I know we've got some combative type players through the midfield, the likes of Cripper, obviously, and Kennedy, but I don't think we've seen a player with more, I suppose, aggression than Liam Stocker. And it's not just in your face aggression. He's flown against the flight of the ball and got cleaned up. He hits hard, he tackles hard. So I think from that point of view, it's like we take that out. Where does that come from? Where is the next person in line who's going to show that amount of aggression? I'm sure there is players there who can do that. Well, they'll have to now. There's a void. I think there's a void now. And I think the other one is Liam Stocker, the person. He's incredibly popular with the fans. He's obviously the look. I mean, he's an incredibly good-looking young man. He looks fantastic. That's one thing. So he's got an appeal that way. But the person, in regards to his personality, the care, and I think when us fans were going through such a low point, through the back end of the Bolton years into T and for someone, we were looking for a young player to come in and show some genuine passion for the jumper. Some genuine passion. And I'm not to say that other young players weren't coming in and being passionate. It's just that we needed to see it. We needed to, I suppose, to latch on, to grasp onto a player who showed that care. He put his arm around Jack Silvani after that Collingwood game last year when Jack's grandfather Serge had passed away during the week. He's the first one in there to fly the flag, when one of his teammates is being manhandled by the opposition. And I think that's something, we needed as a fan base, and that's why we loved Liam Stocker. Loved him for it. And some other club's going to get that. He's going to get that. That hurts. And I think the final one too, and this, I don't think this one can be underestimated either, guys, because there's also a part of us as well that we're very protective of obviously the football club and the decisions the football club made. Now, Nick Austin didn't make this decision. Okay, let's put that on the table now. Nick Austin didn't bring Liam Stocker to the football club. Okay, Nick Austin didn't make that decision all those years ago, to give up that first round draft pick, future first, or swap of draft picks. Okay, I'm not going to go through it. You know all about it. It wasn't Nick Austin's choice. And I think we're all still a little bit protective of Steve Silvani. Now, that's obviously now somewhat of a mistake for the club because he's no longer going to be there. Only time will tell. Only time will tell whether Steve Silvani was in fact right. If Liam now goes to another club and becomes that midfielder, becomes that sixth best player in that draft year, or sixth rated best player in that competition. I think, what do you win the Morris Medal and Sauce rated him, on the draft board, the sixth best player, and went hard for him. Time will tell. Okay, but right here, right now, we're not going to have him on our books anymore, and that is disappointing for us as a fan base because he's a ripper. He really is. I will be following his career. I'll follow it now, and I hope that he goes to a club and really does succeed. It will hurt us moving forward, but yeah, I'll back the club in making the tough decisions. You know, did they see him as a midfielder? Obviously not. And did they see him as really a defender? Obviously not. Where's his place? Have the two parties come to a mutual agreement? We'll never know. We'll never know. All we know now is that it's goodbye to Liam Stocker. Speak soon.